2024. A year of joy, of friendship, of working as a team. But most importantly, a year of
tons of fucking video games! Woo!
I played a lot of old games this year, not because there weren't any new ones, because that was a fucking lot, but because I don't know, I just did. Dredge was nice and spooky. Ace Attorney had some great writing and kind of terrible game design. Neon White had the opposite problem. I still haven't finished Bloodborne, but I did make time for Puppet Bloodborne, and oh bloody hell it good. It Takes Two.
Oh, that's good.
The Case of the Golden Idol.
Oh, that's good.
My House.
Dear God. Let me check my notes, but I think that's good too.
Baldur's Gate 3. I finally played it. I played the one that everyone likes, that everyone gave a 10 out of 10. And let me tell you, it good? For about 5 hours, it wasn't really clicking for me, which was pretty bad considering I'd just spent €80 on a big box version shipped from Germany. But then, all the systems began to slot into place. I worked out the combat, I started exploring the Underdark, and you know what? Maybe that €20 shipping fee was a good investment after all. Every possible thing has already been said about this game. I have nothing more to add. It's wonderfully immersive, it's very well written. Karlach, 10 out of 10. Mouthwashing.
Wait a minute. Is this a video game that actually released in 2024? That can't be right.
A deeply disturbing psychological horror about 5 people slowly unraveling on a spaceship, told out of order and through unreliable narrators. It's fucking great. I would love to talk more about it, but it's pretty much impossible to not spoil it, so just go and play it. Go on. It's a tenner. The fellas and I still got a bunch of mileage out of Lethal Company this year. There's a mod that adds a casino, which was not a good idea to install, but, you know, we did it anyway.
Yes!
Straftat was pretty fun. Liar's Bar was pretty fun. Helldivers 2 was not good for the stability of our friendship. But the multiplayer game I enjoyed the most this year, unironically, was Supermarket Together. A terribly made asset flip that the devs probably spent a collective 5 minutes on. But I don't know, man, there's something about it. The extremely European product packaging.
Darren Sugar.
That's fucking Darren.
The awful shop design we set up. Getting handed a £50 note for an order that came to 12 quid. It's relaxing in a very bizarre way. And it's free. I can't complain. Baldur's Gate 3 weren't free. Both Alan Wake expansions were fantastic, especially the Lake House. If Control 2 is this good, fucking hell, man. Supergiant struck gold twice, and for a game that technically isn't finished yet, it's amazing how polished this is. Fallen Aces too, not even remotely close to being done, and yet it's got more flair and creativity in 3 hours than most games manage in 50. Persona 3 Reload was shit. I'm sorry, fellas. I'm sorry. It was.
Mountain of Rock.
As a remake, it's probably pretty good. I've never played the original. As a game, it's so boring. It's so fucking boring. The first 30 hours are pretty fun, standard Persona fare, and then it just keeps going for another 70. Why did you make Tartarus 264 floors? Why is there nothing to do? Why is the story so badly paced, dumping 100 cutscenes on me at once before fucking off again for another 10 hours? It kills me too, because there is some really good stuff in here, but it's like being told you've got to eat 100 bowls of bran flakes before you can have a chocolate bar. I'd rather just not have the chocolate bar. Movies and TV and music speed round. Fargo Season 5. It good. The Substance. It good. Dune Part 2. It good. Chromacopia. It good. Alien Romulus. It good. Horrific deepfake monstrosity aside. The Curse.
What the fuck?
The Boy and the Heron. It good.
Delicious in Dungeon. It good.
Arcane Season 2?
Fucking sucks, man.
Furiosa. Good. Deadpool and Wolverine. Now we're talking. Big Ideas. It good. Hundreds of Beavers. It's so good. It's so fucking good. Turn off this video. Go watch this movie right now. Do it. Do it. That concludes the movies and TV and music speed round. Now back to the regularly scheduled programming. 2023 had a never-ending supply of AAA games, so many that I'm still catching up a year later. 2024 was a little bit lighter on the AAA front, but for indies, holy
Pacific Drive, Threshold, Field of Mist, Golden Red Master, 1,000 Times Resist, Pro-Run, Animal Treasure, Summerhouse, Bizarre,
Still no Silk Song. It's not happening. In this gargantuan sea of content, there's one game I haven't heard a single soul talk about. And that's a fucking crime. Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom is a 3D collectathon heavily inspired by the GameCube and N64 era. But you're a car. It's also batshit insane. Playing this game is like getting bombarded by 100 different sources of stimulus a second. It's like walking into a casino and every slot machine hits the jackpot at once. If you have ADHD, you'll probably feel right at home. If you're over the age of 45, you'll probably take one look at it and die. So, be warned. If you disregard the insanity for just a second though, you'll find one of the best 3D platformers of the last decade. And I honestly mean that. Beneath the shit jokes and the Elon Musk jokes and the vibration motor in my Xbox controller going haywire, there's a tight, satisfying, consistently entertaining collectathon that's right up there with the greats. Not quite Mario tier, but it's getting there. This game feels like a ruse, like it's deliberately trying to make you underestimate it before it whips off the mask, Scooby-Doo style. Here's the opening tutorial level. That's probably going to be pretty tame. Surprise! It's surrealist and bizarre and brilliant! You're a car, you can't really jump, you control the whole thing with 3 buttons. This is going to run out of steam real quick. Psych! Gothic horror level 10 hours in where you're doing parkour across rooftops. This is just a shitpost. There's a level literally made out of shit. There is no way this is going to be good. Anyway, here's the most satisfying movement mechanic ever made. More people need to play this game. If you like 3D platformers, play it. If you like Crazy Taxi, play it. If you've always wanted a 3D Sonic game that isn't made by Sonic Team, play it. If you've got a heart condition, don't play it. Don't do it. And now, for the grand unveiling of my number 4 game of the year, it's Shadow of the Erdtree. It's Shadow of the Erdtree. Number 4 is Shadow of the Erdtree. Welcome to the land of Shadow, home of wonderful creatures big and small. Clobber, a dancing lion, a big old dragon, a guy riding a boar, and a golden hippopotamus. See the sights, like the Cerulean coast, the jagged peak, the flooded basement of this tower, the crypt under a church, the abyssal woods. Holy shit, what the fuck is that? Collect Shadow tree fragments to upgrade your guy so he doesn't get killed in one hit. Talk to 100 different people that all have the same fucking name. Throw a pot at this golem's head. Maybe don't do that. For 40 odd hours this year, it felt like I was right back in 2022, exploring the lands between and having a whale of a time. Shadow of the Erdtree is pretty much just more Elden Ring, the good and the bad. It's still beautiful, it's still incredibly satisfying to explore, it's still complete horseshit, but more! There's more of it, and it's somehow more horseshit! It's not just retreading old ground either, it's evolving the formula, it's pulling off the same tricks the base game did, but in new, weird ways. This map isn't nearly as big as the base games, At least on paper, it isn't. In practice, it's just as expansive and surprising as the original, and in a lot of ways, even more so. It's so dense with secrets and hidden areas and connective tissue that feels supplementary at first, but then turns out to be the entrance to an entire third of the map. And Elden Ring did this too, obviously, but never with this attention to detail, this interweaving, tightly packed design that feels like a dungeon, but scaled up. It's so satisfying to explore this place, to tick areas off the bucket list, to poke and prod all the suspicious corners of the map until something finally gives way. I could lavish this DLC with praise until I'm old and decrepit and tossed into a cremation pit. No one does it like From Software. No one.
Now where's that Bloodborne remaster, you fuckers? Ah!
When it comes to 3D platformers, they kind of operate on a spectrum. Right at the top, you got the 3D Mario games, most of them, and then about 5,000 miles below that, you've got everything else. Not to say these games are bad, far from it. It's just, it's Super Mario Galaxy, man! You cannot touch Nintendo at their peak. Team Asobi did the impossible. They got very close. Astro Bot is just a joy to sit through. It's impossible to play this without a massive grin on your face. Astro's little wave at the camera, look at the little guy, look at him. The physics engine and the haptic feedback is just so satisfying. The music, I'm bopping, you're probably bopping. Video editor Sparkie, are you bopping?
I'm bopping.
The level design too, holy shit. These are some of the most inventive, polished, consistently well-designed levels in a video game, fucking period. Rescue Mission had some really good level design, Playroom did too, but this? It's like they just got Nintendo to make the levels for them, it's insane. Here's a level with frog boxing gloves that function as grappling hooks, with an ending sequence set inside a giant worm. Here's a level where you climb up a giant tree with the help of an elephant that can make platforms out of honey, meanwhile the tree is singing a musical number. Here's a level where you're Kratos from God of War and you can go chop chop slice kaboom. They've even got the legally mandated squeeze through a bunch of rocks to hide a loading screen bit. They did the thing! Now, is this basically just marketing for a bunch of other PlayStation games that you should go and buy now, spend money, spend it, Herman Hulst commands it? Yeah, it sort of is. But it's assembled with so much love and care and reverence for PlayStation's entire history that it never came off as a cheap shot at my nostalgia bone. I got a hell of a kick out of seeing the prince show up. Playing through that Loco Roco level almost made me cry. But that's not the reason why this game shines so much. It's because it's good. It's because it's really fucking good, man! It's hard to put into words why Astro Bot is so amazing, because it sort of speaks for itself. It's like trying to explain why cheese is so good. It's cheese. I'm a sucker for atmospheric worlds in games. Give me a cool place to explore, give me some interesting world building, give me some minimalistic music, and I'm sold. It's 5 stars, instant. Animal World. On top of being a brilliantly designed, consistently ingenious masterpiece, has a world that manages to sit head and shoulders above pretty much everything else. Games that pride themselves on their atmosphere? Not even close. Games that were a culmination of decades of world building in your dreams. Games that had more money and talent pumped into them than any piece of media before or since? Nice try. There's the door. Fucking bullshit. Billy Basso's masterstroke isn't the ridiculously gorgeous lighting engine, or the water, or the sound design that feels like I've ascended to heaven and I'm having a tea party with JC himself. It's the game design. It's making a Metroidvania that folds back in on itself twice over. There's a point where Animal World starts to feel genuinely sentient, like the world is watching me and morphing as I dig deeper and deeper. There's another point where the illusion should fall apart completely, like the bit where I have to collaborate with 31 other people to do a jigsaw puzzle. All pretense that this is a living, breathing world should evaporate once Reddit gets involved. And yet, somehow, it doesn't. If anything, it strengthens it. It makes it feel like a place that exists far beyond the boundaries of what I myself can see. The best worlds in video games, or movies, or anything really, are the ones that stick with you. I said in my video about it, I'm gonna be thinking about this place for a very long time. And that still holds true. I haven't stopped thinking about Animal World. And I don't think I ever will. Is this cheating? This feels like cheating. It's like if I was doing a top 5 movies of the year and I pulled out the Quentin Tarantino box set. This isn't one game. This is 50 little ones in a trench coat. There's no way to slice this and have it be fair. So, fuck it. A year of
Tons of fucking video games! Woo! Alright, let's just, oh, there we go.
Here's a puzzle game, and a shoot 'em up, and a point-and-click horror, and a Metroidvania, and a first-person dungeon crawler, and how much time you got? UFO 50 feels like a magic trick. It hits you right over the head with how obscene its proposition is, and then spends 100 hours proving every misconception you could have had wrong. Bundles of games like this barely exist for a reason. It is a fool's errand. It is the definition of biting off more than you can chew. But UFO 50 makes it look trivial. Every game in here, almost, is just as confident and polished as the last, and the second to last, and the third to last.
And the fourth to last.
Here's one of the best games of 2024. Right alongside another one of the best games of 2024. Right alongside another one of the best games of 2024. Right alongside... It's stupid! It doesn't make any fucking sense! They could have sold all of these separately and made bank. They could have just not made this at all, because why would you commit yourself to a project this obscenely massive? There are so many ways UFO 50 could have gone wrong at 100 different stages of production, and somehow, against every possible odd, it didn't. This game is a miracle. It's the first of its kind, and it's probably the last of its kind. If you love video games, do yourself a favor. Play this game. You'll never need another one for as long as you live. Except Supermarket Together, you need that.